Ethics and Worldview in Instructional Design by Caleb Bragg. I first wanted to point out a biblical standpoint on ethics. I found two Bible verses that really stood out to me, and they are Matthew 7:12, which is basically that, you need to treat others the way that you also want to be treated. So if you want people to be nice to you, then you should, in return, also be nice to them. And if you want people to ever be helpful and help you, then you should also help other people. And then another is Proverbs 22:6, which is how when it comes to children, that you need to teach them and educate them on the bigger picture. Like, it's important to be an influence and let them observe you and see how you are, and they are more likely to also do the same. So if you are ethical and you teach ethical practices, then your students will also more likely do the same. The Association for Educational Communications and Technology, which is AECT. This is the Code of Ethics for Instructional Design. It's in our textbook. They mostly focus on the commitment to the individual, commitment to society and the world around them, and the commitment to your job. One thing that I found from the textbook that is a piece from the Code of Ethics is educational technology is a study and ethical practice of facilitating learning and improving performance by creating, using, and managing appropriate technological processes and resources. Technology and instructional design using technology is a very big part of education today, and with everything being online, there can be a lot more ethical things that we haven't had to think about in the past when teaching a traditional way. Common ethical issues. So ethical codes and procedures need to be reevaluated often. Barack and Green wrote about this because the world is ever changing, and you need to make sure that your ethical code and standards meet the needs of today. Every profession should have one that is presented to their employees, and then also management should be able to address the code of ethics, so they also need to be well rehearsed in them. In the instructional design world, learning has been transferred mostly online, like I pointed out before. So, like I said before, issues that we once knew may not be the biggest issue that we have to deal with today. And Brock and Green also address that. Some of the most common instructional design issues that have been faced, or the ethical issues, is violating an individual's privacy online. We have a lot of, like, when you are in education, you have a lot of records and grades, and also just information about your students that you keep on the computer. And also, that's also students' private world, so their papers and, things that they're researching are on there, and that needs to be kept private. Conflict of interest. There's many times instructional designers, we working for more than one company, and that needs to be recognized. What kind of ethical issues can happen with that? Diversity and equality is just a huge issue in the world in general. And that can definitely be seen online. And copyright infringement. Copyright is just a very big thing that people need to recognize and can be an ethical issue, especially if people don't know about it. And the author Lynn addressed a lot of these issues and also provided some strategies. So some strategies that can be addressed with ethical issues is communication. Communication is just an all-around good thing in education. I mean, you need to communicate. It's also just a good thing in a workplace. You need to be able to collaborate with your colleagues. But also having common or having regular communication with your colleagues will make it so you feel more comfortable being able to address ethical issues with them. It's important to, not only talk to your colleagues when there's a problem, you should talk to them all the time so that you're not going to be afraid to address any issues that may occur. Another is management. You need to be able to talk to administration and feel that as if you can speak to them, because they should know a lot about what the company policies are and ethical issues, and you should be able to go to them when you have ethical questions, like, is this ethical? Is this moral? Should I do this? Should I not do this? And as spoken about before, integrity, sensitive material is addressed often as an educator. You have sensitive material like grades and learning development, and you have students' attendance records and just, how they've done over years in education. And that is also a huge part of instructional design. However, you need to know when you should use and share that information. It should be shared only with appropriate parties and should not be told to everybody. And here are my references.